Good morning, and welcome to cloudy and overcast Winnipeg. Now, a few moments ago, I was noticing that the MRV's flag was flapping pretty good in the wind, and I thought, hey, that might make a nice part of the opening scene, being as we can't have a sunrise. Well, don't you know, it's gone all limp on me now. That's the way it goes, you know, Murphy's Law. Anyway, before I forget, there was something I was thinking about earlier this morning, and that was that a comment and a suggestion that a viewer had made regarding the rigging. And the suggestion was, this goes back probably maybe a month ago, and the suggestion was, do the rigging before you put this piece of superstructure on. As you remember, this module here from right here to right here is all one piece. We could just lift it right off, except I've glued it on now. And he said, at least I think it was a he said, because I can't remember who it was, but the thought was that if you do the superstructure before you put the module on, it's a lot easier. And I was thinking to myself, well, no, because I'm going to be wanting to run the rigging down, to different places on the main hull. I never realized that there really is no place on the main hull that you'd want to run, a radio antenna or something. Unless maybe originally there was something that ran way out from the bridge here to the bow, but that would be something like I'm guessing a 300, like a 100 yards or 100 meters, a length of aerial, and I don't think they would have had anything like that because a strong crosswind would have broke it off. Anyway, yeah, that would have been a good idea. So if anybody's doing the Rodney or the Nelson, I strongly recommend do the rigging before you glue this main piece down, because all the little pieces that you stick on the side later, the rigging is out of the way anyway. Like the stairs that go on, the ladders that go on the side here. Yeah, I did come back to the model table last night, and all I basically did, and I haven't even looked at it yet, is the we'll look at it in a minute, is I put CA quick setting on those joints that just weren't gluing up. We talk about it in the rollback. Okay, maybe what we should do is roll back. And by the way, another thought I had this morning. I am wondering, are we going to have the Iowa on the model table before we next 10 days before we have this cup back on the model table? Is it going to be a coincidence that they're both going to be on the model table at the same time? There isn't a whole lot left to do here. No, a lot of the things that are going to really change it, like dropping the guns down, that's all you do, is you just drop them down. I may not even glue them in place. I might just leave them loose so that they can be, angled. The only way they'd fall off is if you turned the ship more than on its side. And I'm not planning on doing that. What I am thinking of doing, though, is maybe taking out a little bit of time. I'd have to go to the lumber yard and get a couple of sheets of plywood, probably, I'm guessing, 1/4 inch or maybe a little heavier, and make 4 cases, custom cases that these ships could be put in, because one day, maybe about 100 years from now, after I'm gone, I hope. Anyway, somebody might think, hey, that's pretty good. Let's preserve those models. They're nothing like the ones that Steve in the model shed would do, or something like that. But they look good at a distance. At arm's length, they're going to look okay. So I'm thinking of making cases that or maybe I shouldn't call them cases, but carrying boxes. Each one would have its own custom cradle that would be molded for the hull of each one of the ships. We got the Bismarck, we got the Rodney, we got the Hood, we're going to have the Iowa, and maybe the Yamato. This morning I was watching Jason, UK Jason. He was doing a review on the Yamato, and boy, did I want to get it by the time I got to the end of that. Jason, this is your fault. No, I probably will get it. I think I'll get it so that I'll have a stash, so that I will have something to look forward to. It sort of tells me, Ron, you have a future. Let's roll back. Okay, it's fairly late here this evening, so this rollback is going to be really short. I'm guessing probably 5-6 hours has passed since I put the extra thin, Tamiya extra thin on that joint, and it's still fairly soft. It's not binding at all. And Tony was thinking that it probably just dissolved the paint and stopped the curing from happening that usually happens with extra thin in plastic. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our Bob Smith Industries Instacure. And by the way, if anybody was wondering, the reason that the Easy Line was setting so fast on the plastic is because I used the Instacure. Not regular CA thin. Okay, that's what made the difference. So let's put the macro lens on and see if we can do these joints, and we'll see what they're like in the morning. Now we'll just sort of hope that wicks its way in. Oh my, you know what's happened here? The plastic has dissolved. The plastic has dissolved. At least that's what it looks like to me. Just get rid of the excess. Yeah, I'm hoping that when that cures overnight, it's going to be fairly solid, at least solid enough to run the Easy Line. Well, I think that's it for pizza day. Yeah, what do we got here? 8:23. I know there's been nights that I've worked on it later than this, but I just don't feel like it right now. I did test this a moment ago, and I could tell I didn't want to put too much stress on it, but it does appear to be stiffening up. Anyway, we'll see you in the morning. Cheers. Okay, it is morning, and I can see that I'm going to have to do a little bit of touching up with the paintbrush here, because where we did that joint, it's kind of glinting. Don't know if I can get the light to reflect off it there. Okay, you get the idea. Probably the same on both sides. Well, that's not a problem. I got lots of 56 left. Don't worry, we are not going to use the 56 on the Iowa. Okay, let's oh wait, I was going to check. This is the first time I've actually checked to see if it seems like we've got any kind of play going on in the joint. I got to be careful how I hold on to it here. No, I would say it's going to be plenty strong enough to run stretchy Easy Line from this spool here to this spool here. And then, as I mentioned, I want to have one that will go all the way up to and over this, what is supposed to be a pulley there. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Maybe I should, let's see, should I do the painting before or after? I think I'll do the painting last. Yeah, because then I'll be able to handle it like this and I won't be getting wet paint on my fingers. Yeah, at least that's the plan. Now be careful how I hold on to this, because this little railing here is really fragile. Okay, here's the plan. I'm going to use my piece of plexiglass here that I normally use to slice photo etch on. And what we want to do is use a piece of blue tack to fasten our crane in place. And maybe I should warm this up. It's not very sticky here. Okay, this is only 140 degrees. We'll just warm it up just a little bit. Now the idea being that I will be able to work better at it. In other words, string the strands from this spool back here to this one right here. Now these don't line up the way I think they should, because yeah, I can go from the top of this reel to the top of this reel, but then when I loop it around underneath and want to come back, it's just not going to be natural. So we'll just have to see how it looks. Now, when pressed down in a place that I'm not going to accidentally break anything. Okay, I think that's pretty strong. Okay. Now, I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to do on camera, and I'm not 100% sure which way I'm going to go. Maybe I would be best off cutting off about 30 centimeters of it, or a foot, and because I think that would be enough. I think if we were to go from here to here and around maybe 3 times, and on the 4th pass go all the way across and up to here. Now there is a pulley or an idler wheel or something in the middle here. You probably can't see it, but it's just right in the middle there, that I think that possibly one of the lines in reality went up to probably the actual hoist line went on that. And this one and this one are strictly for elevating the crane, as far as I know. Okay, here's what's happened. I have found, when I first started to set up and try to do this on camera, I realized it just wasn't going to work. Because what happened was I had to take it off of the blue tack and turn it this way and that way, and I had to use my hooked end of the holder downer here to try and fish in and get the line out, and there was just no way I was going to be able to keep it in focus, even keep it in the field of view. So I've gone ahead here now. I'm at the place where I can probably glue this one loose end, which I can't pick up at the moment. It's eluding me here. This stuff is so fine. Okay, and I'm going to want to glue it onto just right up there, and then I'll have to untangle all the rest of the line, and this one here that is still attached to the spool, we're going to have it go across the top and put it here. Possibly those 2 connections I can put the macro lens on and show you. But as far as the rest goes, well, what do we got here? 11:18 already in the morning. I mean, I've been working at this for quite a while, but I've been having a lot of fun too. Okay, slight change in plans here. Now, what I want to do is I want to glue this loose end right on the back of this bar that's going across here. Just something like that. And never mind this bandage on my finger. You know the old saying, my famous saying, in fact, if you keep your eye on the blade, you'll never stick your finger in the blade. But that saying does not hold true when you're trying to cut an apple on the cutting board, and the apple sort of rolls out of your hand, and in other words, the knife slips. So, yeah, that's what happened there. Now, just a little nick. It wasn't bad. It didn't even bleed, but it's just enough that I thought I better put a Band-Aid on it here. Okay, because I thought I better mention what happened here, because I just know people are going to ask. Now, we want to put a tiny little droplet on there. You know, I'm probably better off Okay, now this is the CA quick setting, so I don't have all day to do this. Maybe what I should do is, why don't I put the macro lens on, and then you'll be able to see better what I'm doing here, and you'll be able to see the bandage real good. Okay, I'm going to want to fasten it right about there, not dead center. I want the lines to be sort of separate. So we're just going to put a little thing right there. Now this should cure pretty quick. Now, is it safe to let go? There is a certain amount of tension on that right now. Yep, it's safe to let go. Okay. Now, when I was watching Paul working on his Yamato, that is out-of-the-box models, Paul, he came to a place where he worked on a piece of photo etch, or put in a piece of photo etch that was sort of a type of grating, and it had an extremely fine mesh. And in fact, this is it right here. And I'm just sort of wondering, see if I can move in a little bit on this. Okay, it doesn't show the detailing there of the mesh, but I think I commented to him that you definitely would not be able to paint this with a brush. But then afterwards I was wondering, is it possible to maybe brush something like this? And maybe somebody like UK Jason that's had a lot of experience with painting, would it be possible to paint something like this, or would it just be an exercise in frustration and it would be best to swallow one's pride and use the airbrush? Yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there. Now, I suppose what would be ideal is if I could have something on the end of this, not a piece of blue tack, of course, but if there was something like that resembled a little hook, it might look kind of good. But I know on the Bismarck, on the crane, I actually had an aircraft suspended from it, if you remember. The aircraft that Tony had made for us. Okay, let's reposition here and see what we can do. I'm pretty sure I got it. Oh no. Oh. I thought I'd ended up getting it stuck on my... Yeah, that should glue on there, I think. Let's just check it and look at see if it seems like it's hooked on. No, it wasn't. Okay, I guess I better make it a little bit thicker. Okay, for sure we got it that time. Okay, here's what I had been thinking of. I was thinking of taking a little piece of blue tack, trying to roll it into a ball, fasten it onto the easy line, and just hope that the weight straightened it out. But in order to have the ball would have to be fairly large, I believe. Now, I haven't tried it, but you can see this kink that we got going on there. And so I think that rather than messing around, trying to do something that is not going to be, visible anyway, maybe, I think we'll just cut this off. There we go. Okay, you know what they say about life is what happens to you while you're making other plans. It had been my plan to put this on the rotator and have a nice close look at it, but we've run out of time here. So we'll have to be doing that later on this afternoon or maybe this evening, in which case it'll be in tomorrow's rollback. So thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow. Cheers!